Welcome to Myanmar. Hidden in Southeast Asia lies Myanmar, a land where over 10,000 ancient temples pierce the horizon in Bagan alone, more Buddhist temples than anywhere else on Earth. Here lies a fishing tradition found nowhere else. Men balancing atop narrow boats, using their legs as oars to cast nets across mirrored waters. Inle Lake defies everything you thought you knew about fishing. But that's just the beginning of this country's mysteries. The nation's crown jewel, Shwedagon Pagoda in Yangon, blazes with real gold and houses 8 sacred hairs of the Buddha himself, a treasure worth millions that draws pilgrims from across the globe. Deep in Myanmar's jungles, the world's largest book sits hidden in Mandalay, 729 marble slabs inscribed with Buddhist teachings, each housed in its own tiny temple. What's even more incredible is that Myanmar remained completely isolated from the world for decades. Step into Myanmar, and you'll discover a country where time stood still, creating wonders that challenge everything you believe about our modern world. Number 1. Bagan. What if your next escape led you to a mystical plain where over 10,000 ancient temples stretch endlessly across the horizon? Welcome to Bagan, Myanmar's crown jewel, and one of the world's most spectacular archaeological wonders. Beyond tourism statistics lies a sacred landscape. More than 2,200 temples spread across 40 square miles. Each one represents a monarch's gamble from the 9th century, believing that earthly monuments could secure eternal spiritual merit. Here's what will blow your mind. At its peak in the 11th century, Bagan was home to over 13,000 temples, monasteries, and pagodas, creating a sacred city so magnificent that even Marco Polo was left speechless. But these temples aren't just silent ruins. Many still pulse with life, where monks chant ancient prayers at dawn. Imagine floating in a hot air balloon at sunrise, watching golden light ignite thousands of temple spires. Every Bagan temple holds secrets, hidden passages, 900-year-old art, and legends of buried treasure beneath cracked pagoda floors. The ancient archaeological zone feels like stepping into a fantasy novel. Climb a weathered stairway and gaze across 2,000 spires, dissolving into a molten gold horizon. Some believe the temples were aligned to forgotten star maps, their stones placed with precision that modern GPS can measure but cannot fully explain. Was it astronomy, divinity, or both? Many chambers remain sealed for centuries, untouched, waiting for someone bold enough to uncover their mysteries. Bagan's real wonder is not only its scale, but its spirit. These sacred monuments rise from the earth like mountains of devotion. Their weathered bricks whisper stories through carvings that have survived monsoons, earthquakes, and empires. Inside, colossal Buddha statues sit in eternal meditation, their serene faces illuminated by shafts of dusty sunlight. Frescoes painted in the 13th century still glow with emerald nagas and golden-winged divas, pigments that have outlasted entire kingdoms. These stones remember their makers, the kings who built upward to touch the heavens, the artisans who carved eternity into brick and stone. And the faithful who believed whispers could reach the gods. Here, human hands turned rock into magic, lotus petals so thin that light passes through them. Deities whose marble eyes still gleam in the torchlight. Standing amid this endless sea of temples, you shrink to a speck, yet your soul stretches toward eternity. Once you witness Bagan's otherworldly beauty, no other destination will ever compare. Prepare to have your spirit stirred. And your perspective on human achievement forever changed in this temple plain that exists nowhere else on Earth. Number 2. Shwedagon Pagoda. The remarkable Shwedagon Pagoda stands as the world's most precious religious monument, its gem-encrusted crown alone valued at over $3 billion. Perched atop Singutara Hill in Yangon, this magnificent golden stupa rises 326 feet into the sky, dominating the city skyline like a radiant beacon. Believed to be more than 2,500 years old, Shwedagon may be the oldest Buddhist stupa in the world, and it remains Myanmar's most sacred religious site. What makes it truly breathtaking is its golden brilliance. The lower stupa is covered with 8688 solid gold bars, while the upper portion is layered with another 13153, creating an ethereal glow that shifts with the sun. At its crown, the pagoda dazzles with 14,031 diamonds, culminating in a 72-carat diamond that captures and scatters sunlight like a celestial flame. Built upon a marble platform, the complex embodies the pinnacle of Buddhist architecture, harmonizing elegance, devotion, and grandeur. Shwedagon is not just a monument of beauty, but of faith. It houses sacred relics of Gautama Buddha and 3 Buddhas before him, including strands of their hair. Making it a pilgrimage site unlike any other. As night falls, the stupa transforms once more. Bathed in spotlights, the golden spire shimmers against the deep blue sky, casting a mystical glow that has inspired worshippers and travelers for centuries. The seamless integration of hilltop shrines, monasteries, and countless smaller stupas creates a breathtaking spiritual complex, one of the world's most awe-inspiring wonders. Number 3. Ubain Bridge. Every step on Ubain's weathered planks echoes the ingenuity of 1842, when a visionary mayor transformed discarded royal timber into what is now the world's longest teak footbridge, forever caressed by Inle Lake's golden sunsets. That foresight saved more than 1,000 teak pillars and countless wooden planks from the dismantled royal palace, giving them a new life as a bridge. Construction began in 1849 and finished in 1851, using only traditional Myanmar techniques. Remarkably, engineers measured distances not with instruments, but by counting footsteps. Stretching 3/4 of a mile across the calm waters, Ubain remains the longest teak bridge in the world. Its graceful curve is supported by more than 1,000 teak pillars, driven deep into the shallow lake bed. Located in Amarapura, the former royal capital just 11 kilometers south of Mandalay, the bridge still serves as a vital link for villagers and monks, connecting communities across the lake. But Ubain is more than a passageway. It's a living symbol of resilience. These golden teak planks, once part of lost royalty, still whisper stories of adaptation. Bridging past and present as they stretch across Tongtaman's shimmering waters. We've pulled insights from many sources. If you notice something new or have your own story about Ubane Bridge, share it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Number 4. Inle Lake. Inle Lake, Myanmar's second largest natural lake, lies in the heart of Shan State at an elevation of 880 meters above sea level. Stretching 22 kilometers long and 10 kilometers wide, this vast freshwater lake sits in a valley framed by 2 mountain ranges and covers nearly 45 square miles. Life here has always been intertwined with the water. The lake is famous for its stilt houses, where communities have lived for generations, adapting their homes and livelihoods to this aquatic environment. Among its most iconic sites are the Inle fishermen, who practice a distinctive style of rowing found nowhere else in the world. Balancing at the stern of their boats, they wrap one leg around an oar while anchoring themselves with the other foot. This ingenious technique keeps their hands free to cast nets and manage their catch. The surrounding waters are dotted with floating gardens, where villagers cultivate vegetables and flowers using age-old agricultural methods. Around the basin, teak forests thrive, producing some of the finest teak wood in the world. The cultural landscape is equally rich. Buddhist temples and pagodas rise along the lake's edge, reflecting Myanmar's deep spiritual traditions. Multiple ethnic groups call this region home, with the lake serving as both a spiritual landmark and a source of livelihood. Transportation remains as it has for centuries, by slender wooden boats or motorized longtail boats designed for the shallow waters. Yet, despite its traditional roots, the area has embraced modern tourism, with the nearest airport just 35 kilometers away in Hiho. Inle Lake is more than a destination. It's a living ecosystem where ancient customs and sustainable practices coexist with the modern world. Its remarkable balance of culture and nature has earned it recognition, with proposals to designate it as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. With its mountain backdrop, floating gardens, and graceful fishermen silhouetted at sunrise, Inle Lake remains one of Myanmar's most iconic and unforgettable destinations. Number 5. Mandalay. Mandalay takes its name from the sacred hill where the Buddha once prophesied that a great city would be founded 2,400 years after his death. This former royal capital of Myanmar radiates an unmistakable golden glow, with countless Buddhist pagodas and temple spires rising above the skyline. The city's architectural beauty reflects its royal heritage, from the grand palace complexes and fortress walls to ancient monasteries carved from precious teak wood. Each monastery showcases extraordinary craftsmanship, with intricate carvings and traditional designs that stand as living works of art. Mandalay's natural setting enhances its splendor, nestled between rolling hills and the mighty Irrawaddy River. Its spiritual essence lingers in the air. Temple bells echo through the streets, and the soft chants of monks create a timeless atmosphere of serenity. Tree-lined streets, lush gardens, and vibrant local communities add color and warmth. Here, traditions remain strong, seen in colorful clothing, heartfelt hospitality, and daily rituals rooted in Buddhist culture. Mandalay's charm lies in its seamless blend of bustling urban life and tranquil spiritual spaces. History breathes through its teak monasteries, golden pagodas, and riverside rhythms, making it the enduring cultural heartbeat of Myanmar. Number 6. Mount Popa. Mount Popa, known as the Flower Mountain, is an extinct volcano rising 15-18 meters above sea level in central Myanmar. Its last eruption is recorded as far back as 442 BC. This sacred mountain is revered as the spiritual home of Myanmar's 37 great nats, protective spirits deeply woven into Burmese belief. Often called Burma's Mount Olympus, it is a place where myth, devotion, and natural beauty converge. Atop a dramatic volcanic outcrop stands the famous Popa Tangkalat Monastery, accessible only by climbing 777 steep steps. The climb itself feels like a spiritual journey, drawing pilgrims and travelers alike. The Nats honored here are believed to be spirits of historical figures who met tragic deaths, now worshipped as guardians of forests, mountains, and lakes. Their shrines, offerings, and legends give Mount Popa a mystical atmosphere. Each year, thousands of pilgrims ascend during the full moon festivals of Yangon and Nadao, when the mountain becomes alive with rituals, chanting, and vibrant celebrations. Mount Popa remains a timeless symbol of Myanmar's spiritual heritage, rising proudly as a bridge between the earthly and the divine. Number 7. Ngwe Sang Beach. Ngwe Sang Beach, one of Myanmar's most pristine coastal treasures, stretches for an impressive 15 kilometers of powder-fine silver sand. Its wide, gently sloping shoreline is shaded by rows of swaying coconut palms and tall casuarina trees, offering both beauty and a sense of calm seclusion. Unlike many crowded beaches in Southeast Asia, Ngwe Sang retains a quiet, unspoiled charm, making it a perfect destination for travelers seeking peace and relaxation. The crystal-clear waters shift in mesmerizing gradients, from pale aquamarine near the shore to rich sapphire blues as the seabed deepens. During the day, the sun illuminates the surface, while at sunset, warm golden and crimson tones ripple across the gentle waves, creating a breathtaking natural canvas. Beyond the beach itself, visitors can enjoy fresh seafood at cozy seaside restaurants, take a boat trip to nearby Lovers Island for snorkeling and panoramic views, or explore local fishing villages that reveal Myanmar's coastal traditions. Horseback rides along the shoreline and quiet walks under starlit skies further enhance the experience, making Ngwe Sang Beach a hidden gem where nature's beauty meets simple coastal living. Number 8. Damayangye Temple. Rising above the plains of Bagan, Damayangye Temple is not only the largest temple in the ancient city, but also one of its most hauntingly enigmatic monuments. Its immense scale and imposing silhouette make it impossible to overlook, yet what lies within and what remains hidden has fueled centuries of speculation. Commissioned in the 12th century by King Narathu, who seized the throne after murdering his own father and brother, Dhammayangi was intended as an act of atonement. The temple is often called the Temple of Atonement, a grand gesture meant to erase the bloodstains of Narathu's reign. However, his brutal rule ended abruptly when he was assassinated, leaving the temple forever unfinished. Architecturally, Dhammayangi is striking. Its vast square base makes it the widest structure in Bagan, and its design was modeled after the revered Ananda Temple. What sets it apart, however, is the unmatched precision of its brickwork. The mortarless joints are so tight that even a pin cannot be slipped between the bricks, a testament to both craftsmanship and the king's relentless demand for perfection. But perfection came at a cost. Legends whisper that Narathu, notorious for his cruelty, would order masons executed if their work fell short of his impossible standards. Some stories go further, claiming that laborers were entombed alive within the walls, their restless spirits forever bound to the temple. This macabre history gives Dhammayangi an unsettling air, particularly since its inner sanctum and one of its main passageways remain mysteriously sealed to this day. Visitors who wander its vast corridors often remark on the silence that hangs heavy in the air, as if the unfinished temple itself is frozen in time. Locals speak of King Narathu's spirit still roaming its shadowy halls, a reminder that no monument, however grand, can fully erase the sins of its maker. Dhammayangi Temple stands as both an architectural marvel and a cautionary tale, its massive walls embodying the grandeur of Bagan's past, while its dark history continues to shroud it in mystery. Number 9. Ananda Temple. The Ananda Temple is one of Bagan's most iconic and spiritual landmarks, renowned not only for its architectural grandeur, but also for a fascinating optical illusion within its sacred halls. The temple's four colossal standing Buddha statues, each soaring to a height of 9.5 meters and facing the cardinal directions, seem to change expression depending on the viewer's distance. When observed up close, the Buddhas appear stern or solemn, but from afar, their faces soften into serene and compassionate smiles, symbolizing the transcendence of human suffering into enlightenment. Commissioned in the early 12th century by King Kyansittha of the Pagan dynasty, the temple reflects the king's devotion to Theravada Buddhism and his vision of creating a monument of timeless spiritual significance. Built in perfect symmetry, its cruciform layout, gilded spires, and whitewashed corridors represent the harmony between heaven and earth. The temple's design draws inspiration from Indian Buddhist architecture, blending seamlessly with traditional Burmese artistry, which is why it has earned the nickname Westminster Abbey of Burma. Inside, visitors encounter an atmosphere of reverence and discovery. The temple walls are adorned with more than 1,500 intricately carved terracotta plaques and stone reliefs, depicting Jataka tales that recount the previous lives of the Buddha. Each carving tells a moral story, serving as a visual scripture for devotees and pilgrims through the centuries. The temple's corridors, lined with flickering oil lamps and incense offerings, immerse visitors in an otherworldly glow, heightening its spiritual aura. Despite enduring earthquakes and the passage of time, Ananda Temple remains remarkably well preserved, standing as a masterpiece of Myanmar's golden age of temple building. It continues to be an active place of worship, especially during the Ananda Pagoda festival, held each January, when thousands of monks and pilgrims gather to celebrate with traditional rituals, music, and offerings. Today, Ananda Temple is more than just a historical monument. It is a living sanctuary of faith, art, and culture, where history, devotion, and architectural brilliance converge in one unforgettable experience. Number 10. The Laikyun Sekya Buddha. The Laikyun Sekya Standing Buddha and Reclining Buddha at Bodhi Tataung, Moniwa, located near the city of Moniwa in Myanmar. The Bodhi Tataung monastic site is home to two of the country's most remarkable Buddhist monuments, the Laikyun Sekya Standing Buddha and the Reclining Buddha statues. The Lake Sekya Buddha, standing majestically at 115.8 meters, 380 feet. Atop a 13.5-meter, 44-foot throne, ranks among the tallest statues in the world. Construction began in 1996 and took over a decade to complete, finishing in 2008. The towering figure represents the Buddha in serene composure, symbolizing peace, enlightenment, and compassion. Visitors can even enter the statue, which contains floors depicting scenes from Buddhist teachings. Beside it lies the reclining Buddha, an equally impressive monument that portrays the Mahaparinirvana, the moment of the Buddha's passing into final nirvana. The reclining figure stretches across the landscape, reflecting the deep tranquility and spiritual significance of this sacred event. The Bodhi Tataung complex, 1,000 Bodhi trees, is a revered pilgrimage and tourist destination, featuring hundreds of smaller Buddha images, stupas, and monastic buildings scattered across the hillside. Together, these magnificent structures embody the devotion and artistry of Myanmar's Buddhist heritage, attracting pilgrims and travelers from around the world. Number 11. Ngapali Pagoda, Golden Rock. Ngapali Pagoda, Golden Rock, is one of Myanmar's most sacred Buddhist pilgrimage sites. This small pagoda sits atop a massive granite boulder covered entirely with gold leaves, placed so delicately that it appears to balance on the edge of a cliff. According to legend, the rock is miraculously held in place by a single strand of the Buddha's hair. Located on Mount Ngapali in Mondstadt, the site is revered as the third most important Buddhist pilgrimage destination in Myanmar. After the Shwedagon Pagoda and the Mahamuni Pagoda. While women are not allowed to enter the inner sanctuary surrounding the rock, they are welcome on the outer terrace and in the lower courtyard to offer prayers and pay their respects.